So I have just restarted, okay, and also do not forget to seed this preferences. So all you have to do is run npx prisma db seed command, so that this will also be created. And also there might be if already we have this user, so you might receive unique constraint issue. So the to avoid that, you can have the new user to create, or else you can just delete the existing user and then create the same. So after having or did that and just try to run the application, so you can just see the settings page in action here. So this is the form that we did create. So you can see here the models, and that these are the options that we're trying to see. Same applies here for the data extractions, and you can see here very good way of showcasing the recommended option and the brief description about it, okay, and the analysis section, okay. And for one shot learning, you can see beautifully we have the toggling options and then saving all of these things. And then finally the account deletion. So here looks good for me, okay. So yeah, this is the settings page which we have added, okay. So we are in the settings section. So now let's try to do the form validation correctly, okay. And also try to yeah, I just wanted to handle the form validation first. And also we do not have the options or the endpoint or the function configured to save, but we have just the UI and then options to showcase the default option to showcase from the DB and all. We'll focus on that. So let's just go back and worry about the validation for now, okay. So here I mean since this is the it's a component, so it's better if we try to have it moved to the let's say the component section. So I'm just going to move this to components, okay. So let's just paste it here, okay, and let's just update the imports for the same, okay. Yeah, so now we have just moved this form, and let's try to handle this form validation. So for that I just wanted to I mean have this one more component in place for extraction select, okay. So I'm just going to create that component, so I'll understand the need of that eventually, okay. So here I'm just going to create in here this extraction select component, okay. Let's quickly have the type props for this. So I'm just going to have in here this as extraction select props, okay. So here this is going to be form of type any, okay, and then the name of that, so this is going to be string. Then the extractions, okay. So here this is going to be the extraction array, okay, fine. And yeah, this is going to be the type for the component that we are going to define below. So quickly I'm just going to define in here this component, okay. So let's just have this extraction select as the name. So here, as I said, the props, it's going to be above extraction select props, okay. So I can just destructure those values, form, name, and then the extractions, okay, fine. And now here inside this, let's just have this form field, okay. So I can just use this form field, okay. And let's just give here this form dot control, okay, and the name of that, okay. So name, so you by now you should be understanding what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to segregate and make reusable component, okay. That's the gist of this, okay. Let's just complete so that you'll understand, okay. So here I'm just going to get this field, okay. and here inside this let's just have the form item. Okay, and this margin at the top, so you can let's do one thing. I can just take this form item from here. Okay, so in this form field let's just take this form item. So here let me just change this accordingly. Okay, so now this one I'm just going to give in here this extraction unique ID. So let's just import this form label. Okay, and then the select component as well, so I'm just going to import this. Okay, and form control, then the select trigger as well. Okay, so let's just import this. Okay, and here the placeholder, it's going to be the select an extraction as example. Okay, so I can just import this as well. So all the components I'm just going to import this select content. Okay, group as well. Okay, so now here instead of this models it's going to be the extractions. Okay, so let me just import this label. Okay, and fine. So now inside this select group, now it won't be the the models that the user has to select, but the extraction IDs of that will be getting as the props. Okay, so I'm just going to try to get the extraction. Okay, so here inside this I'm just going to provide wrap this inside the select item. Okay, so key I can just provide in here this extraction ID. Okay, and the value it's going to be the extraction ID. Okay, fine, and inside this let's just showcase this extraction ID and then the file name. Okay, fine, yeah, so this is going to be the thing. Okay, so I can just delete this description. Okay, so I'm just going to import this form message. Okay, so now this what is the error again? Okay, I did not close the component, that's the why. Yep, so now we have the component to select the extraction IDs. Okay, so in our user preferences, so let's just go back to our preferences form and just make changes accordingly here. So first thing is let's just define the type or preferences form props. Okay, so here I'm just going to define here like we did for the previous component. Okay, for this the properties that is expected for the component, so here I'm just going to give here preferences. Okay, this is going to be of type preferences, and then the extractions. Okay, so here this extractions, it's going to be the extraction array. Okay, fine. So now the form schema we'll have the classification model on all of this, enable one receipt, enable card statement, so additionally the IDs for those things. Okay, so here receipt example, this extraction ID. Okay, so I'm just going to make this type to be a string. Okay, and this is going to be I mean expected to be nullish. Okay, fine, and same thing we are going to apply for this about two more categories. Invoice example, the extraction ID. Okay, so just I mean, this is going to be of same type. Okay, fine. And finally this card statement example extraction ID. Okay, fine. And this is going to be again of type string. Okay, so yep, so now this is going to be a form schema. Okay, and let's just note, as I said, do validation. So here right after this, let's just do this validation in our refine function. Okay, so let's try to get this data. Okay, so in here, so once we have this data, we can just console them. Okay, so if this data dot the enable receipt one shot, okay, and there is no data for the receipt example extraction ID. Okay, I can just try to return false. Okay, fine, else our validation is correct, so I can just try to return true. Okay, fine. So that's one thing. So if that is the issue, so the message that we wanted to showcase here is please select an extraction of let's say the receipts. Okay, fine. And here the path, I'm just going to provide in here this receipt example this extraction ID. Okay, so this is for the receipts. Same way we'll have to do it for the other two more categories, so I can just apply the same here. Okay, so here this step. Okay, so now here in place of this receipt, so this is going to be this invoice one shot. Okay, and here this is going to be this invoice example extraction ID. Okay, fine. And then instead of this receipts, this is going to be the invoices. And here instead of this receipt example, this is going to be the invoice example extraction ID. Okay, so same thing. Okay, let's do it for the card statement. So now instead of this enable receipts one shot, so this is going to be enable card statements one shot. Okay, so now here this is going to be now the card statement example extraction ID. Okay, and here this is going to be extraction of the card statements. Okay, and this one instead of receipt, it is going to be a card statement example extraction ID. Okay, so now we have this validation in place. Okay, that is you might have understood by now, right? He has enabled one shot, but he has not selected example extraction ID for that category. Okay, that's the validation here. Okay, and now for the preferences form, so I can just remove this now. So here I'll just provide in here this preferences form props. Okay, and then just destructure this preferences and extractions. Okay, and now this one after this we'll have to provide the same for receipt example extraction. So this is going to be this preferences dot this receipt example extraction ID. Okay, and then the invoice. Okay, so again this is going to be the invoice example extraction ID. Okay, and finally the card statements. Okay, so here this is going to be preferences, dot this card statement example extraction ID. Okay, so yeah, this is the default values for the additional fields we have added. And finally we can just console it. Okay, so now we need to do the validation for this. So inside this form, so first thing, let's go to the description that we have added. Okay, so for one shot learning, so okay, so where is this? Yep, so here we can just write more whatever you want, or else just leave this as it is. Okay, so I just wanted to add in more example here, something like that. No, so okay, so let's do one thing. So first, right here, let's do one thing. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, so since we added the additional fields, I just wanted to be more louder in giving information. Okay, so here now this one I can just say something like this technique can greatly improve the accuracy of the models if your documents are similar, something like this. Okay, fine. And I'm just going to say here something like it is recommended to use a model with a context window larger. Okay, so that you'll receive a better accuracy, something like that. Okay, large enough to process the example. Okay, fine. So make sure that if it's a bigger the example, go for bigger context window length model. Okay, so I can just give in here this. Yep, so this is just I just wanted to provide the additional info. Okay, so now okay, so for the form fields, okay, so wherever we have this now the enabling receipt one shot and all, so we'll have to take care of this disabled. Okay, so this will be disabled. Okay, we will try to get this extractions filter and try to get the extraction here. So if this extraction dot category is receipts length is 0, I mean we don't have any examples of this kind, so we cannot enable for this case, right? So that is when this will be disabled. Okay, so same thing, so right below this right below this I just wanted to this form dot get values. Okay, so here if there is enable a receipt one shot, okay, that is true. Okay, then I just wanted this extraction select to be showcased. Okay, this is the component which we have just written. So and here just pass in the form that we have, and then the name. So name, it's going to be this receipt example extraction ID. Okay, and here the extractions. So again I can just filter I mean let's just take this. So all we have to do is provide the extraction related to our receipts. Okay, and then just after this I can just close this. Okay, fine. So this is how we handle validation for enabling this to toggle it or not, depending upon the receipts. Examples are available in our receipts model, okay, and if there is, okay, we will enable that, and if he checks that, okay, then we will showcase this extraction select, where we are going to provide in the one of the id and the file name, so that you can choose that as an example. Okay, fine. So same way, I'll just have to add in for the below categories as well. So this one, so here it is going to be the invoices, so I can just and also I can just copy this, okay, and we'll change the naming thing. Okay, so here right below this, okay, so here it's going to be invoices one shot. Okay, and this one, this is going to be invoice example extraction id, so I'll just change this invoice. Okay, and this is going to be invoices. Okay, fine, and same thing, we'll have to do it. Let me just take this disable part, okay, for the last card statement. Okay, so here this will be disabled, and also I just have to change here, this is going to be this credit card statements. Okay, and finally this showcasing of this extraction select, so I can just here right below this, so here now it's going to be enable card statement. Okay, so I can just change this to card statement one shot. Okay, and now this one, it's going to be the card statement example extraction id. Okay, so yeah, and also here this one, this is going to be this credit card statements. Okay, so and also here let's just have some less margin. Okay, so what is the issue here? So okay, this is the card statements. Okay, fine. Yeah, we still have some issue. Okay, that's with the preferences. So now we have the preferences form in place. Okay, and we'll have to change this again. So inside our settings page, we'll have to pass on those extractions. So here let's just add in this extractions. Okay, so here I'm just going to use this get extractions. Okay, all we have to do is provide this status. Okay, so status dot processed. Okay, and then once we get that, we'll have to pass on to this preferences form. So here the extraction, so I can just provide this extractions value to this. So now we don't see any issue in this page settings. Okay, and now this preference form will receive the extractions from this settings page to this preferences form, and then we can have an access to the extractions list. Okay, so I just wanted to show this in action now, so let's just switch to the UI part. Okay, so now you can see here this is going to remain same, and unless we toggle this. Okay, so here I think it's just compiling, so let's wait for it to compile. Okay, so here now we have, I don't think we have any example, that's why I don't say this as enabled. But again, if let's just wait for it to load. But you understood the logic behind this, what we were trying to handle, right? So that's how ideally we are supposed to handle. Okay, and yeah, so okay, maybe it's still loading. Yeah, it did compile. Okay, so it is still, I mean, I just wanted to console that once. let's just see this extractions data. Okay, so I mean, since it's okay, so we don't have any. Okay, that's the reason we are seeing nothing is enabled. Okay, that's good. At least the logic is working, so we are not seeing this to be enabled for the users. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have added the logic for that. Okay, so now we need to add a logic, for updating whatever the user is trying to select now. So this was the default seeded data that we're trying to populate. Now let's say, like, now the user wanted to change, okay, and do this toggling as well, and then wanted to update the preferences. So we will have to handle that. Okay, so for that, okay, we need to create a request again. Yeah, kind of preferences route. Okay, so for that, let's go back and try to create in here inside this in a API folder. I'm just going to create in here this new folder for preferences. Okay, so let's just name this as a preferences, and we'll try to have this one endpoint. Okay, so I'm just going to create here one endpoint which is going to help us update. Okay, I can just copy this and we'll just make changes. Okay, so here now, okay, and also to getting the user, I will try to create one library folder inside this API section itself. Okay, so it's going to be simple file. Okay, so let's just create in here this user helper file. Okay, so I'm just going to make this to be a synchronous function, and the function name, it's going to be get user, and all we are going to do is use this get server session from this next start. Okay, and provide in the auth options. Okay, and then I'm just going to return here this user. Okay, and if not, I'm just going to return from here. So maybe this we can use it here. Okay, so now here this is going to be put. Okay, and I can be more specific here. This is going to be of type next request, so I can just use instead of this, now we can just use this user. So here await get user. Okay, so if there is no let's say there is no user, okay, I'm just going to respond with the something like not authenticated, something like that. So I can just remove this. So I'm just moving the text to not authenticated status 401. Okay, and now, okay, so here the body, so here let's get the body. So I can just get this from the request. Okay, and I will just try to let's just import this jar. Okay, so I'm just going to import this jar. Okay, so here I want this to be of type of this preferences schema. Okay, so this one as well, it will be better if I try to move this to some other file. Okay, so as of now, if you see, we have this schema in our preferences form, right? Okay, uh, this one. So I just wanted to let's do one thing. For now, I'm just going to copy all of this form scheme, and we have in here this validation section. So I just wanted to move in here. So let's just create in here the new file called the preferences.ts. Okay, so here I can just have this schema. Okay, so I'll just rename this to be preferences schema. Okay, and all we have to do is import jar. Okay, so fine, so now we have these preferences. Okay, so now in this preferences route, I can just import this preferences schema. Okay, so yep, now this I'm just going to make this to be typed. Okay, and we will just try to validate this. Okay, so if this I mean, let's validate body. Okay, so again this one I'll have to create in here. Let's do one thing. So inside this library itself, so I'm just going to create in here new file, something called, let's say, request.ts. okay, so fine. So here let me just import this from the job. Okay, so here I can just create in here one function. So let's just name this as something like validate a body. So this is going to receive in here this body. Okay, and then the schema. Okay, so that it has to validate against. Okay, so this is going to be job type. Okay, and here this body is this type of the schema or not. Okay, so this type of this, I think it has to be schema. Okay, this schema. Okay, so let's just try to get this schema dot. I'm just going to safely parse this the body that we are receiving. Okay, and let's try to get this success. Okay, and then I'm just going to return this success. Okay, so this we can just make use of it in our here. Okay, so this has to be, yep. So now I can just try to import this. So here let me just remove this. So here this validate body, yep. So now I can just pass in here the body I have received and also the schema against which I just wanted to validate. So if I don't receive success, then definitely there is an issue that I'm receiving with the body. So right away we are going to throw this error message. Okay, saying that invalid body. Okay, so I can just throw in here this way, and then the status code I'm just going to pass in here as a bad request. Okay, so yeah, so this is the thing. And now in the let's just remove this now, this one object in the try block. Okay, so let's try to get this updated preferences. Okay, I mean we should update preferences table. So I'm just going to know preferences. Okay, and let's just now update. Okay, so this where it's going to be this user dot id. So I can just here. Okay, now the data, it's going to be completely different. So whatever the schema we have, the classification model. Okay, so this is going to be the body dot the classification model, then the extraction model. Okay, so this is going to be this body dot this extraction model, and then the analysis model. Okay, so here this is going to be analysis model. Okay, and then the receipt example extraction id. Okay, so here this is going to be body dot the enable receipts one shot. Then I'm just going to provide in here this body dot receipt example extraction id. If not, we are just going to have this as the null. Okay, and then for the invoice example extraction id. this again, if body dot enable invoice one shot it's true, then we are going to provide in here this body dot invoice example extraction ID. If not, I'm just going to provide null value for that. Okay, finally this card statement example extraction ID. Okay, so here this is going to be body dot again, if this enabled, then we are going to provide in here this card statement example extraction ID. If not, we are going to just provide null value for this. Okay, so this is the body to update our preferences. Okay, and after this, okay, so I'm just going to return, let's just copy this. Okay, so in here, after this I'm just going to return with the message that preferences updated. So here preferences updated, and here the ID as well. So here I can just provide in here this updated preferences dot ID. Okay, and the status, it's going to be 200. Okay, so again, if anything went wrong, okay, I can just say here this perfect preferences could not be updated, something like that. Okay, so here could not be updated, and status, I'm just going to send 500 internal server error, something like that. Okay, and we can just remove all of this here, this whole part. Okay, so this is the I mean, let me just remove this auth options as well. Okay, fine. And yeah, so this is the route which is going to help us update the preferences. Okay, so now we have this route in place. Okay, and we have now only thing left for us is integrate this into our our preferences form component. So I can just go in there. So here let's just we have this form schema, so I just don't want to use this again. Let's just remove this. Okay, so now here instead of this form schema, I'm just going to, okay, what did I do? So here we will just import this the preferences schema. Okay, and I'm just going to provide in here. So now it looks clean. Okay, preferences schema, fine. Yeah, now here in the on submit, here as well I'll have to change this to be preferences schema. Okay, so now just rather than just trying to showcase in here the toast, okay, I'll have to make a call to the endpoint which we have just configured. So here this, let me first let me make this to be asynchronous function. Okay, and in here let's try to make a call to the endpoint which is the preferences. Okay, and here the method, it's going to be of type put. Okay, and the body, I'm just going to stringify the values that I'm receiving as an input. Okay, so here if the response is not okay, okay, then I'm just going to I mean, let me just copy this toast. Okay, so here title, I can just say something went wrong. Okay, while we are trying to update preferences. Okay, so here something went wrong. Okay, and variant, I want it to be destructive, so I just wanted to provide in here this destructive. Okay, and description, so I'm just going to provide in here the string. Okay, so here let's just say something like your preferences could not be updated, something like that. Please try again something. Okay, so here I'm just going to provide in here the same. Okay, so if everything went well, so then in the else part we'll try to handle. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and move up this to else section. Okay, so here this title I can just say preferences updated. Okay, and description. Okay, I can just let's just remove this thing. Okay, so here let's just make this to be displayed to be flex. Okay, let's just enter the items, and I'm just going to have in here this gap of 2. Okay, so here I can just say in here this your preferences have been updated. Okay, and here I can just use this icons. Okay, so let me just import this. Okay, this check circle. Okay, so here I am just going to add in this stroke width. Okay, and width of let's say 24. Okay, then height of let's say same 24. Okay, and let's just give text a green color indicating everything went according smoothly. Okay, so and I'm just going to have in here this display a single line block. So fine, this is going to be the description. Okay, fine, so that is the change. So pretty much, and now let's see if we can update the values into our preferences table or not. So let's just go back to the UI. So now you can just see I have opened the schema Prisma. Okay, preferences. You can see now the analysis in models all we have is the turbo model. So I just wanted to try to update this. Okay, let's just say I have updated this to both of them to 16K. Let's do for everything. Okay, so this will not be enabled because we have no extractions. Okay, so here let me just try to click on this preferences, and hopefully we should see toast. Okay, if it goes well. Okay, what's happening? Okay, looks like okay. I just wanted to let's do one thing. So let me just console this values. Okay, so here okay, and now let's try to refresh this, and we'll try to provide I will try to update this. So it's just trying to load. Okay, so okay, okay, it has loaded. So let's try to do it at least for one. Okay, so I just clicked on it. I don't see anything happening. Okay, let's see in the console. I do see one of the object. Okay, we are seeing an issue with the server, but we see here the updated value being passed on to the endpoint. Okay, okay, let's see in the network section. Okay, there is an issue. Okay, but we are able to pass it. I'm not able to update it, so let me just have a look and then come back to it. So we were seeing the failure in updating the preferences because firstly, if you want the schema to be reflected and you wanted the type errors to go away, do one thing. So just go to command prompt and try to restart this TS server. Then you will have the latest updated Prisma schema and you will see the suggestions for the types. Okay, so once we have, you can see here, I think there was a typo I guess in while I was creating. So here we were trying to provide example extraction ID, but you can see here in the DB we have this extraction ID. So if I just try to change this, okay, and try to save this, and let's try to update it. Now you will see the updates in our DB. So I'm just going to the here, I mean, let me just clear everything, okay, and even in this console, okay. So let me choose this and also this one as well. So all will try to update it to 16K, okay. So let me just try clicking on this, say okay. So okay, again I see here internal server error. Okay, let's see payload. We have all of this, okay. Okay, why is this okay, let's refresh this and try it again. So here is our preferences table, okay. So let's just go back in here, okay. So let's just try to change it for one thing, okay, and check this out, okay. I don't know why it's failing, okay. Okay, it is still failing, but again that was one issue, and the other issue is we are seeing an issue, okay, with respect to updations. Okay, I'll just check this out. Yeah, so there is an issue with this receipt example extraction ID. We are receiving undefined. Because of that there is an issue. So for now what I'm going to do is let me just provide this as the null value, okay. So we will check this later. So for now I just wanted to provide the null value, and let's try to check this out, okay. So let me do one hard refresh. Okay, so here I just wanted to change this. Now let's just change all of these values to 16K, okay, and try to save this. Okay, I still see the issue. Why is this? Okay, it's from the form level that we'll have to take care, okay. So here in the components, okay, in the preferences form, so okay, I see there is lot of issues, okay. Card statements, okay, and also in here this receipt example extraction ID again here. Okay, now I understood. That's why it's very important to have the types loaded, and also now we can just change back in this route configuration, okay. So I'm just going to change this. So whatever we have previously, okay, so now hopefully we shouldn't see any issue, okay. So let's try to update that. Okay, so I'm just going to clear this everything. Okay, so network, let me just clear. Okay, so here I just wanted to again refresh this. Okay, and let's try to update these values. Okay, so I'm just changing this to all to 16k, and we should see these values reflected in our db. Okay, so let me just save this. Okay, still the issue. Why is this? Okay, and now we are receiving all values as null. At least it's a good sign, but here I see there is an internal server error here. Okay, analysis. Okay, what is the issue now? Okay, still we are seeing the issue. Let me just correct this. Well, so the issue was we were not getting any user ID. So user ID I was passing as the undefined. So that's why we were receiving internal server error. Now I have taken care of that. So now let's that's the only change which was causing us to update user preferences. So now let me just showcase you that. Okay, so if you can see here in the preferences, I can just see we have all GPT 3.5 turbo. So now let's try to update those values. So I'm just going to update this to 16k. Okay, so now let's keep observing the network as well. We should see status code 200. Okay, so when I click on this save preferences, you can see here it's updated, and if we just go to this thing, and we can see the preferences for this models is saving. Okay, fine. So now it's good. Okay, so let's try to add some artificial delay so that it knows that we are updating something. Okay, so for that I just wanted to create in this utils section in the libraries utils folder. So here let me just create one asynchronous function. Okay, so here let's just name this as something like minimum delay, and let's just make this as a generic. And here this input, it's going to be the promise, so which is the promise of type t. Okay, and then the milliseconds that we wanted to simulate the delay. So here let me just try to handle this in promise.all. Okay, and pass in this promise. Okay, and I'm just going to return type, it's going to be void. Okay, so here the result, and here I'm just going to set the timeout. Okay, so let's just simulate this timeout to the whatever the milliseconds that we received. Okay, so it has to be resolved. Okay, fine, and I'm just going to return this. Okay, what is the issue here? Okay, so this is array, so that is the reason. Okay, fine. So now we have this minimum delay function. So this I will try to use this inside our preferences form. So let's just go to this preferences form. So here let's try to create one state variable. So I'm just going to create in here something like is updating. So here I'm just going to have in here the function to update the value, set updating. So initially let's just set it to false. Okay, so now here right after right before we are trying to call, so I can just remove this now, and here I'm just going to update this updating value to true. Okay, and after so here let's just change this to request. Okay, and after this I'm just going to try to call this one. So here await a minimum delay. Okay, so I'm just going to pass in here above request and a time of 500 milliseconds. Okay, and here I'll just set this to false. Okay, and now okay, what is the issue? Okay, did we not? So I'm observing here the type issue. Okay, so in our preferences form, the minimum delay. Okay, okay, so here let me not wait for it. Yeah, so now it should do that thing. Okay, so I'm just going to set this to false, and also here wherever we have this save preferences button at the bottom, so now I can just use this. So this would be disabled if it is updating. Okay, and also here if it's updating, so I'm just going to add in this icon spinner. Okay, so I can just use this spinner. Okay, and let's just have some margin right and height and width. I'm just going to set it to 4. Okay, and apply this animate spin on this. Okay, so yeah, so now it should do whatever we wanted to. So yeah, and also wherever we have the consoles I just wanted to remove. Okay, so console.loggings. Okay, so here I'm just going to remove this extractions. Okay, the user, and even here URL. Okay, and even this s3 URL. Okay, and here verified card statement I just wanted to remove. Here this drop zone I just wanted to remove. Okay, and files as well. Okay, and here this results, and here as well let me just remove this thing. Okay, and here as well let me just remove this user ID as well. So I'm just trying to remove this consoles. Okay, fine. So now okay, let's try updating, and we should see that updation. So I'm just not going to open the developer settings anymore. Okay, so now let's change back this to turbos. Okay, so I'm just trying to save. You can see here it's trying to save, and yeah, and now we should see that yeah, changing back to okay. So that is the thing. Okay, yeah, now it looks good for me. Okay, so we are able to update the preferences. Okay, and now tried simulating the delay. Okay, so now let's try to make complete settings page fully functional. That is, we have to handle the account deletion as well. So for that, okay, let's create the route for that. Okay, so I'm just going to create in here. Let's do one thing. Okay, so the preferences route. Okay, so let me just collapse all of it. Okay, so open this API. Okay, so the preferences. Okay, I think it will be better if I just move this file to account. So I mean I'm just going to rename this to account. Okay, so here let's just rename this to account. So it's like signifies as what do you say, I mean the handling all settings section. So okay, so here I'm just going to first whenever he's trying to delete the account, we'll have to take care of deleting the files in s3 as well. So again for that we'll have to write an util. Okay, so for that I'm just going to create a new file in this library folder. Okay, so let's just name this as an s3.ts. Okay, so in here I'm just going to first get the client. Okay, so we already have in here this client, so I'm just going to take in here. So let's go here. So now this let's import this. Okay, so once I have this client, okay, so here let's write the function. Okay, so I'm just going to name this as something like delete user folder. Okay, so this is going to be the location that will be passing into this function. So here I'm just going to here have the function asynchronous function again, which is going to recursively delete all the files related to this user. Okay, so here I'm just going to have this token passed. Okay, so here first let's just try to list these files. Okay, using this new list objects v2 command. Okay, so here all we have to do is specify here this bucket. So here I'm just going to pass in this our environment bucket, so which is the s3 bucket. So I'm not going to delete, but I'm just going to showcase you how to do this. Okay, so here this prefix, it's going to be the location, and then the continuation token. So I'm just going to pass in this token. Okay, so once we have this list command, so all we have to do is here try to send it now using our s3 client. So I'm just going to send this above the list command. So okay, so it has to be equals to. Okay, so once we have this, so I'm just going to, if this list dot the key count. Okay, then I can just create again delete command, and then we'll pass this like we did above the list command. Okay, so here let's just call this delete objects command. Okay, and again specify here this bucket. So I can just take this. Okay, so the bucket name. Okay, and then the delete object. So here this is going to have this objects. So here I'm just going to pass in whatever the contents we get in the above list. Okay, so let's just iterate through this item. Okay, and I'm just going to pass in that as the key. Okay, so here this is going to be the key, so this, which is item dot key. Okay, it's fine. And then let's just specify here this quite to be false. Okay, so if you want more info, you can just refer to the s3 documentation. Okay, so okay, so this has to be capital key. Okay, fine. Yep, and so here let delete it. So I'm just going to send this command now. Okay, so let's just pass in this delete command. Okay, and then the count, I'm just going to increment this count, so that is deleted dot this deleted. Okay, and length. Okay, so if there is none, I'm just going to assign this 0 value. So here if this deleted dot, if there is any errors. Okay, so I'm just going to go through that errors, okay, and try to get this error. Okay, so we can just console for now. So here let's just console here and show that, you know, for this key we were not able to, you know, delete something like that. So for this key I could say that, you know, could not be deleted. And I'm just going to specify here the code. Okay, so here let's just specify this code. Okay, so if there is any error that we encounter while we are trying to delete, okay, so here now if this list dot, you know, next continuation token, so I'm just going to, you know, recursively call this above function by passing in this, you know, the continuation this next continuation token. Okay, so finally I'm just going to return the count of the files that we have deleted. Okay, and all I'm going to do is, you know, return the recursive or delete function. Okay, so this is going to be our function which is going to help us all the files related to the user. So now we have this in place. Okay, so let's just go to this route. Okay, so here I'm just going to create in here this delete function, so which is going to help us delete all of the account. Okay, so here I can just the user part, it's going to be pretty much the same. Okay, so here, okay, so this if it's not that not authenticated. Okay, and first let's try to get the extractions. Okay, so here I'm just going to query this extraction. Okay, and find many, I'm just going to query using this user ID. So this user ID is going to be this user dot ID, so that is to get the extractions. Okay, and for getting the count of the delete thing, so I'm just going to pass in here, let's just use this delete user folder, and I'm just going to pass in this user ID. Okay, and here if this count is not equals to this extraction dot len. Okay, so I'm just going to return that, you know, not all files could be deleted. Okay, so here let's just send in here this error, so that is, you know, not all files could be deleted. Okay, and here the status code, I'm just going to send in here the 500. so this is the case if something we were not able to delete all the files of the user in S3, and we are trying to match it with the extractions length. If it's matching, then we are sure that all the files that were uploaded by that user will be deleted. Okay, fine. So after this, okay, so in the try catch block, okay, so here I'm just going to now query the user table. So I'm just going to delete in here this based on this ID. So I'm just going to delete this user. Okay, so once we delete this user, so I'm just going to here, you know, return the status code as something 200 that we deleted user. Okay, so here this, let's just delete this something with a message that, you know, user deleted, and the status code that I'll be sending is the 200. Okay, so if something went wrong, we'll try to handle that inside this catch block. Okay, and we can just console that, and also we can just, you know, return the exception message. Okay, so here I'm just going to have this message as like, you know, user could not be deleted. Okay, so this is the the way to delete a particular account in this application. So fine, now we need to, you know, have this component to delete as well. Okay, so I'm just going to create that component inside this component section. So let's just name this as something like, you know, delete section. Okay, so this is going to be something let's make this first as the client component. Okay, so here I'm just going to name this function as delete section. Okay, so here this is going to be delete section. Okay, and here in the UI part, okay, so let's just wrap everything inside this div. So simple, it is going to be this some border, so I'm just going to have some border. Okay, and let's have this background red color. Okay, so something like, let's say lighter red color. Okay, and I'm just going to make this to be rounded and padding of 4 in all directions. Okay, fine. So here first the header, so pretty much the same. So I can just say in here this delete account. Okay, we can just refer from there. Okay, but I'm just going to quickly write this anyway. So text red color. Okay, and I can just make this larger, and the text it's going to be this as delete account. Okay, so that is the header, and again as I already showcased this helper text. Okay, so cautioning user text. Okay, so here I'm just going to say here this action will permanently, okay, so delete your account. Okay, and all the data associated with it. Okay, something like this. Okay, so fine. So after this I'm just going to wrap everything inside this alert dialog. So here inside this, let's have this first the alert dialog trigger. So here let's just mention this as the child. Okay, and the button here, so the button, let's make this variant to be destructive. Okay, and let's have some width of let's say 44 and margin of the top 4, and this is going to be the text of this button is going to be delete account. Okay, so that is the button. So after this trigger, I'm just going to wrap the content inside this alert dialog content. Okay, so in this so inside this, first the header, the title, just confirming are you absolutely sure. Okay, something like that. Okay, so here alert dialog header. Okay, and here inside this the title, so I'm just going to ask something are you absolutely sure to delete, something like this. Okay, so then after this the description. Okay, so inside this description I'm just going to say something this action cannot be undone, something like that. Okay, so this will permanently I can just use the same text here. Okay, fine. Yeah, then after this header. Okay, so we'll have this footer. Okay, so inside this footer. Okay, first the button to cancel. Okay, so that is the alert dialog cancel. Okay, so inside this I'm just going to have this cancel button. Okay, and then the action, so here inside this action we'll have the on click. So here I'm just going to have in here one function which is going to, we are going to make use of the endpoint which we have just written. So I'm just going to write that. So let's just name for now this as the delete account. Okay, and here inside this, okay, so the text, okay, is go ahead and delete my account is the confirmation text that will be taking from the user. So we are seeing this error because we are yet to write this function. So at the top I'm just going to create that function. So here let's name this as same delete account. Okay, so I'm just going to have this. So let's just make the call to the endpoint which we have written, so using this fetch. Okay, so here this account. Okay, and the method it's going to be the delete. Okay, so here if this it's okay, so I'm just going to sign out the user, and I'm going to specify here this callback URL as a login. Okay, fine. So else I'm just going to say that we can just use this toast. Let's just have this variant as so destructive, and I can just say like something went wrong while deleting something. Let's just give this text something went wrong, and then the description, so kind of will just say it could not be deleted, please try again some other time, something or else. Okay, so here your account could not be deleted. Okay, so I'm just going to say here please try again. Okay, yeah, so this is the function which is going to help us delete. Okay, so looks like we have this delete section component in place. Okay, and also now let's go to our preferences form. So here we'll have to update our endpoint. Okay, so in the on submit, so now we don't have this preferences anymore, so all we have to do is just change this to account. Okay, yeah, pretty much now yeah, let's just try to check this out. Okay, so I just wanted to see this. Here we are here, so if I just click on this, we should see the is it updated? Let's just reload this. Okay, so okay, sorry, I have not replaced this with our delete section component. That's the reason we are not seeing that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is replace this in the settings page. Okay, so where is this settings page? Let me just okay, so here in the dashboard, the settings. Okay, so here whatever we have this div, I'm just going to replace this completely with our delete section component. Okay, so now we should be able to see that alert dialog. Okay, so let's wait for it to complete compiling, and then we'll go and have a look at this UI. Yep, so it has compiled. So now let me just refresh this. Okay, yeah, I can see now we have this delete account. Okay, and so when I click this, okay, we have this dialog. So are you sure? Okay, and I'm not going to do this. I have tested and it's working. So we can test this okay again when I create multiple accounts. So that time I'll just showcase you, and also you can also have a look at it. Okay, so yeah, this is the way, and we have all working. For now, there is see now we have this receipts and invoices and card statements. You can see now we have because if you see in each of the section, we should see the data related to that particular section. So I'll just showcase you one of the section. So here let me just navigate to the receipt section. Okay, why is this taking time? Okay, I think yeah, so we have, so you can see here we have all the data for each of the things. So receipts, I'm in receipts. Okay, and let's wait for it to navigate it to invoices. Okay, okay, so this is invoices. Okay, we do have. So now let's just go to the settings page. So in here I'll now we have all of this at least one example for each of the things, that is one extraction ID for each of the categories, so those toggle buttons are enabled. So I'll just showcase you once. If I check that, what is it you're going to see. So once I enable this, you can see now we have this the extraction unique ID component that we are triggering, and we can see here the extractions and the ID and the file that we can, and then we can just select and update our preferences. Okay, again if I just toggle back on it, so you see here as whenever we have an examples for each of the sections, this is how we can just populate all of the IDs related to that and just select one out of all of them. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. So one thing I can confirm is this settings page is fully functional is what I can confirm. Okay, yeah, and also now I just wanted to add in the loading state, and also for these models it's better if we move up to enum for better model preferences. Okay, and yeah, pretty much this is it's in pretty good shape, and this is what I wanted to cover overall. I know there are issues. You can see I have showcased you whole flow, so I just wanted to showcase you whole flow one last time. Okay, so now we don't have any, so I'll just upload this file. So let's wait for it to and also there is issue with the UI, and also this on enabling bulk processing and all. You please look out in the code and figure out. I know it's always unavoidable to have issues or bugs in our application development. So it's again left to your interest. If you wanted to resolve this, just go to this section where we have there is some minor issue which I might have missed, and just go and have a look and resolve this UI issue, which I'm not going to focus much in this section. So I'll just showcase you one example. So here invoice, let me just try to upload this. Okay, so the thing that I'm trying to showcase you is the overall flow of our application. So here as a user you should be able to upload this file. Okay, so yes, selected. Okay, and there is a issue with the UI, do not worry about that. Okay, so once I click on this upload, it's going to upload this file into our S3 bucket. Okay, and also creating a record in our extraction table along with the path of that S3. So you can see that your file have been successfully uploaded, and this is the file with the ID that I'm trying to showcase here. So once we have this, okay, this upload phase is completed. Okay, the next phase that we are supposed to go to is text recognition. So once I click on this continue, okay, so here it's going to take us to the text recognition section. So again here there is not good user experience. You can just add in the what do you say, once clicking on this loading or spinners or whatever you wanted to just configure. So here as soon as I click here, so you can see here we are taken to the text recognition, and this we are getting a signed URL from the S3 client with expiry of, let's say, for now I just set it to 3600 milliseconds. Okay, you can just change it to the whatever you want, and this is the file that we'll see in the left side. So this is the phase that we are in, and this was the text that was extracted for us by having passed this file. So that is the text that we are seeing here. So once I click on this confirm and continue, okay, so it should take us to the next phase of our application, that is the next pipeline. So let's wait for it to confirm and continue. So once this is successful, we should see that the text recognition is completed successfully, and now we are in the data extraction phase. This is where it will help us identify the category that we wanted to classify as. Now if you see it was since we are in narrowing down it to 3 categories, it was good enough to identify this. Okay, this did work. Okay, so once we are good with the class that it was identified, confirm. So next it is going to extract the structured data in the schema that we wanted and that we specified. So this is also done. So as soon as I click on continue, so the next phase is the last phase, that is the verification phase that it's going to take us to. Okay, so here let's just wait for it. So it all depends upon our yeah. So now we can see here, this is the text that was extracted or verified. And this is the PDF view. Okay, and this is the text. Okay, and again, as I said, there is a UI styling issues. You can see here, this is scattered, and there is some margins issues. Okay, and the aligning issues. Okay, this was the invoice number, category, and the date, and the items that we're trying to populate, and the overall amount and all. So you can just analyze it again. Okay, and I mean double verification and all, I'm not going to show you this again. So you can just go ahead and correct these issues. Okay, and now let's just confirm this. So now it should confirm and verify this. Okay, so let's wait for it to verify this. Okay, so you can see that our file has been processed successfully. So now if you just go back to the dashboard, okay, so you can see here, this was the as of now you can see we have in here 4 of these things: invoices, receipts, and this is the file which I've just uploaded. And if I just go back to this invoices, and I should be able to see this. Okay, so let's just navigate back to invoices. Again, I'm specifying there's a lot of work that you can do. The code, you can refactor, add in the new features, and also the login. I'm just on clicking sign in, I'm not navigating it to any of dashboard. Again, that you can take care of it. Okay, and yeah, pretty much. Okay, so you can see now we have this 2 invoices, and also there was some issue with the extracting the data for this category distribution. Again, you can go ahead and have a look at it. What is the issue? Feel free to comment in the comment section. Others, please try to assist others if you were able to rectify that. Okay, and yeah, so mostly this is what I wanted to talk about. Okay, and you can just go ahead and optimize as much as you can. Thank you so much, hope you liked it. Okay, and uh, hope you learned a lot from this application. If you did like and helped in one or other way, please do share this, like it, and subscribe to my channel. And also stay tuned to the channel, there'll be a lot more exciting videos coming your way, very exciting, and it'll be very new unique videos that will be en route your way. Thank you so much. And also post this, I'll have one deployment video where I'm going to deploy the backend as well as the front end, so that you can just try to work it out in the deployed. So it's going to be pretty much same. Okay, yeah, thank you so much.